So this activity is called Head Harp. And can we, Kelsey, do you mind unsharing the slides for a moment so they can see me? Okay, great. And Michael, I'm seeing you on my screen. Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you. So the first activity we're going to do is called Head Harp. And what you need for this is a piece of string about the length of your outstretched arm. And so go ahead and cut a piece of string like that. Wrap it around the back of your head like this and hold it with one hand while with your other hand twang the string. Okay, and hold it pretty tight, but fool around with a few things while you do this. Fool around with loosening it a little bit and tightening it up. Fool around with changing the length so you can maybe start short and then go longer. And what I'd like you to do, go ahead and play with that for a minute or two and think about two different things, and then we'll open it up and take some comments. First of all, maybe describe some of the sounds that you hear. And second of all, well, I'll ask that question when we get back together. I don't want to give it away. So just go ahead and play with it, change the length and the tautness of the string and the way you twang it, and see what you can find, what you can notice. And I have to say, it's really fun watching this on gallery view and seeing everybody do the activity. For those who don't have strings with them, like if you haven't heard this yet, many things will work, like shoelaces or yarn or dental floss or things like that. Okay. So another few seconds. Wow, I'm seeing people work together on this. This is really fun. Okay, so now I'm going to ask my question and then open it up for anybody who can, who either wants to write in the chat box or to share orally. And to do that, just unmute and start talking, and you'll be heard by everybody. The question that I'd like to ask you is, again, one of them is maybe describe some of the sounds you heard, but the other one is, why do you think it's so much louder when the string is wrapped around your head like this than if you were to just twang the string like this? All right? So either write in the chat box, or if someone could unmute and just go ahead and start talking.
What I noticed was because it's the vibrations. My daughter's here, she'd be my assistant today. And when I wrapped around my head, I could hear it, but when she wrapped around her head, I could barely hear it. So I think it's because the vibrations are going through our brain.
Through your brain. Wonderful.
I said our brain, through our head into our brain, it's registering faster. It's the end of the day, don't mind me.
No, lovely. I really like the image that created, but what a nice thing. Someone else, or yeah, I'm reading from the chat box while we wait for someone else to say, it's louder because we feel the vibration. Awesome assistant. We all agree on that. And that the vibrations go through your head. Anyone else describe some of the sounds they heard, and then any elaborations on this idea that it goes a little bit, much louder actually through your bones than through the air. Oh, lovely. You wait a little bit and some of the chats pour in.
Well, and also as we moved our fingers farther away, it just created a longer vibration. So it wasn't as close tight.
And how did that sound different to you?
It sounded more like, like a twang. It's the only way I can describe it, like a twang.
Okay.
I play the violin and a ukulele, so it just reminded me of that. So
lovely. Did anyone else fool around with short and longer strings and what sounds they made? Oh, wow, Danielle says, the tone seemed to change as I moved further away from my head. Yeah, and that was. So Danielle, do you mind describing what those changes sounded like?
I heard it louder the closer I was to my head. And then the further I got away, it was a little bit softer. And then also the way you pluck it. So if I just pluck like this versus pulling it, it sounds a little bit different as well.
Nice. Delilah said the tone seemed to be high-pitched when it was closer to my head and low-pitched. So like, you know, kind of a baby bear sound when it's close to your head, and maybe a papa bear or mama bear sound when it's further away from your head. So lots of different kinds of qualities of sound that we heard, from the volume, how loud it was, to the pitch, how high or low pitched it was. And this whole idea that the vibrations, the string going back and forth, and if you just hold it really tight and twang it, you can see it vibrating, moving back and forth or up and down very fast. And that energy from the vibration seems to be much louder when it goes through a solid object like your skull than through the air to your ears. So we can build on those ideas as we move into the next set of activities. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Kelsey to take us into them.